Hit record. Alrighty, alrighty.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Oh, sorry, trying to mute.
No problem.
You're fine.
A little heads up, if you guys have like pen and paper, you can go grab it, or if you just want to, we're going to do a little activity at the end. If you want to type in your phone, that's totally fine too, in like the notes section, whatever works for you.
As well as that, if you'd like to grab tissue, no, we're not going to make you cry. We hope not, but there is a little bit of breath work that you might require a little bit of tissue for.
Strongly suggested. I always need tissue.
Alrighty. Well, we'll go ahead and begin. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay. Give us one moment to set technology up. All right. So, welcome everyone. You should be here for the From Chaos to Calm Masterclass brought to you by the Balanced Mama Project. And we're going to introduce ourselves momentarily. But we just want to say we're so grateful that you are here to learn how to reclaim your wellness in early motherhood. We're so excited to have you. So, we would like to introduce ourselves. Dr. Say, I'm going to give you the floor to introduce yourself first.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sarah Yates. I'm a physical therapist. I'm board certified in women's health, pelvic health, and I have advanced certifications in prenatal, postpartum, and intrapartum. So in the labor and delivery part of care, I am really passionate about informed care and making sure people know what their options are. And I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for coming, y'all. I'm gonna pass it over to Dr. Lisa.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Lisa Desai, and I'm an occupational therapist with experience ranging from little babies to maternal health, including prenatal and postpartum, and then all the way to geriatrics. I have my specialty certificate in neuroscience, and I've had a passion for maternal health before even becoming a mother myself. However, since becoming a mother and going through the healthcare system, I found a huge gap in care between prenatal and postpartum. So, not only physical health, but also mental and emotional health. And I thank you all for joining us today. And I'm going to toss it over to Dr. Valerie.
All right, and I am Dr. Valerie. I am a doctor of physical therapy. I have a neuro specialty background and as well as extensive training in pelvic health. I'm a yoga instructor and I do prenatal and postpartum yoga as well as a Reiki practitioner. And I'm also a mom of an almost 2 year old. So very busy and very blessed. And we are all three licensed health professionals that are here to specialize in holistic support for mothers from pregnancy through early toddlerhood. We're all clinicians, but I want to be very, very clear that we are not anyone's specific clinician. So, we love to honor the patient provider relationship, but what we're here for is guidance. We're here to provide education and tools to help reset that nervous system and to help you all thrive. So, we really just want to honor this space as a space of guidance instead of a direct patient provider relationship. Dr. Lisa and Dr. Saya work specifically at the VA, and all of these things that you're going to see in this particular presentation are their own thoughts separate of the VA. So we want to make that known as well. Let's get into what you're going to learn today, though. So, today you're going to walk away with an understanding of your nervous system. We're going to give you, like I said, some education. And then we're going to also give you a 5 minute daily reset tool. You're going to walk away here with something in your back pocket to use in those moments of just stress and feeling overwhelmed. We get it. You're also going to learn some functional movement skills. What we mean by that is this is not, do these exercises, do these exercises. This is how do I use the right muscles as I'm doing my daily tasks, like picking up a burp cloth from the floor, picking up my child from their crib, We're going to teach you how to do that today. We're also going to teach you how to take care of your core and restore that core. And we have a really powerful journaling method that we're going to share with you guys. In fact, we're going to provide you a free PDF of a journal, a guided journal. This is what it looks like. It's called Mama Time, and we're going to provide that for you at the very end. So stay tuned.
Okie dokes. Thanks, Dr. Val. So, the what no one told you. Well, first, let's start out. Typically, and this may not be everyone's experience, but there's a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm as you prepare for the baby. You're being showered. There's the baby showers. There's the nesting parties. I just heard of these like maybe a year or two ago. But there's all these events preparing for the tiny one, and then the main event. You have the baby, they are here, and then what? Well, one of my homegirls told me 6 months postpartum, she was like, all of the support that I had in that prenatal time period is really what I need right now when I'm trying to take care of the tiny one, take care of myself, get resituated in the new identity. And so, like, what no one or what's not typically highlighted is how intense it can be to learn the ins and outs of parenthood, whether you're one, with two, with three, like each number looks a little bit different. Keep your tiny person alive, maintain your sense of self, and learn a new identity while still trying to reconcile where you were with the old identity. And so there's the challenge of the external factors, so lack of sleep, sometimes lack of support. But then there's also the challenge of the internal factors. So it's the stress of trying to do your best without always feeling your best. And the very normal, very natural biology that often makes people question if they are too sensitive or if they are too emotional. And on our Insta page, we'll have it later on, we have a quote that says, "You're not sensitive, your biology is loud." In the postpartum time period, this is especially true. So let's get into it. Okie dokes. So this slide does have a lot going on, but let's chat about the nervous system. And we'll go into hormones on the next slide. So on this slide, we see parasympathetic and sympathetic. And so there are two faces to our nervous system. We have our rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic, and then we have our fight or flight mode. So this is the more selective mode when it's like, we want to be in it as needed. If you're trying to run away, if you were trying to fight for your life or something of that nature, that is when we need this phase to kick on. Otherwise, we typically like to have the body in that rest and digest mode. And so this is when your heartbeat is a little bit slower, you can breathe a little bit deeper, and your muscles are relaxed. Everything is not so much tensed up. And so under each column, you can see some of the things that go on with the body in each of these modes. But we like to put this up there because during pregnancy, there is said to be more sympathetic nervous system activity than when you're going about the rest of your life typically. And so, yes, in pregnancy, you're gearing up for a big event. Like having a baby is an intense process, beautiful and an intense process. And so you might need the extra boost or do need the extra boost. But in postpartum, we want to get people back into that rest and digest mode as quickly as possible. And so why do we say this? So that rest and digest mode is linked to lower levels of depression. And so encouraging that rest and digest mode is going to encourage an improved mood or help with improved mood and help with overall relaxation. But is it challenging to get into this mode? Yes. It is not just, oh, hey, I'm in postpartum, I am now in my rest and digest mode. Because lack of sleep, stress, those promote that sympathetic nervous system, so that fight or flight activity to kick on where you're like, I feel like I'm trying to survive. And no, nothing is chasing you, but you are indeed trying to survive. You're trying to thrive in a space that is an unusual space. Or not the typical space. And so you see the vagus nerve in the little block at the bottom. So this nerve has a lot of functions, and it's a major player in that parasympathetic, so that rest and digest side of the nervous system. And so, yes, it regulates heart rate, digestion, breathing, mood, all of these different things. But there's more and more research coming out talking about stimulating this nerve with activities like humming, singing, deep breathing, and even certain forms of exercise just to promote overall well being. And so, some of the things that we talk about later. Are connected with stimulating that vagus nerve, encouraging that parasympathetic, that rest and digest mode, and just maintaining a sense of calm. We're moving shortly, but these are the building blocks before we get into our movement, guys. Okay, when it comes to hormones, there are a lot of different hormones at play, but today we're going to focus on estrogen and progesterone. And so these hormones, they have a great many roles in the body. We're going to emphasize how they change over time. So during pregnancy, estrogen and progesterone are increasing from the time that you're pregnant all the way up to the time that you deliver. And so they're helping with forming reproductive structures. They're helping with mood regulation. They're doing a bunch of different things. But early postpartum, and so as soon as you have the baby, that next few days, we're having a steep drop, next few hours, you're having a steep drop in the estrogen and progesterone. And so why is this important? Progesterone is known as a happy hormone. So it has calming effects, has mood boosting effects. Estrogen also plays a role in mood regulation and emotional well-being. So if these things are helping to regulate your mood and they suddenly take a dip, it's not only that there's a big life change happening, but some of the main things that are helping with mood regulation have shifted intensely. So if you know any women in menopause, perimenopause, that's the change of life, when we're shifting from our reproductive years just to the latter years, in that process, there's also a steep drop in estrogen, progesterone. And so when people mention mood swings, oh, Lisa, did you have something? Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep rolling. When people mention mood swings, irritability, hot flashes, all of these things come up in menopause. It is not just the mind, it's the body trying to get adjusted to a new normal. So having mood swings, being irritable, things like that. No, you're not sensitive. No, you're not crazy or overly emotional. Your body is really taking time to re-regulate and to adjust. And that on top of the already busy life circumstances can be a lot. Um, and so we'll talk about re-regulation in a moment. But yeah, I just like to emphasize people are not crazy. Like your body's gearing up for something new. And so before we get into how to regulate, let's talk a little bit. Uh, oh, yes, we can definitely talk about the menopause. Right. Um, Signs of nervous system deregulation. So just if you are wondering if this is
If
you,
this is you,
or if this looks
or
like,
if this looks like,
I don't know.
huh?
I'm gonna keep going. If you hear an echo, wave at me. Okay, no echo, no echo. So signs of nervous system dysregulation. So if you are fatigued, if you feel rage, or if you feel very irritated at the smaller things, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or even numb, where it's like, I don't feel especially happy, I don't feel especially sad. I'm kind of like nonchalant, like nothing brings me up or down, or even feeling panicked. So all of these can be signs that the nervous system is a little bit out of whack or is in overdrive. And so you're not alone, but we're going to talk about how to reset the nervous system. For the question or for the statement in the chat, great comment on preparation for menopause. Um, Dr. Val, are you okay if I do a quick comment on it? So, bone health is a great thing to build up now. I know it sounds odd, but I think education is one of the biggest things when it comes to being prepared for menopause, because sometimes people don't realize that the different symptoms that come up can start to be managed earlier. And so when I'm seeing ladies in the clinic in their 40s, in their 50s, I'm like, making sure your bone health is optimal is great because estrogen is protective of the bones, and so we don't need osteoporosis or osteopenia. Sorry, I'm gonna be quick. So, exercising, loading the bones can be helpful when it comes to mood regulation, hot flashes, and things like that. I would definitely get linked with either a nurse practitioner, physician assistant, or a doctor who is well versed in menopause, because I know at least where I'm at, they do typically
Got
do
menopause?
counseling on different types of or different formats for estrogen that sometimes people can implement to make the transition a little easier. So just knowing what resources are out there.
Bonus.
But otherwise, I'm going to say it sounds very generic. Overall, healthy lifestyle and connecting with resources, even as you approach the late 30s and 40s, talking to your doctor about what's out there to ease that process. I hope that answered it a little bit.
Thanks so much, Dr. Saya. And so, if you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat as I go into talking to you all about our solution or our framework for addressing this nervous system dysregulation. I want you to know that I am not ignoring
Oh, I
you.
didn't
I
know.
just can't exactly see the
Um,
chat. So I am going to ask Dr. Saya and Dr. Lisa to help me out to see what's going on in the chat so that I can help to answer those questions as well. I'm also going to take this moment just to remind everyone to put yourselves on mute if you are not already on mute, just so that we are able to all hear what's going on. So, in order to get from the rage gift that we just saw from Inside Out, we decided that, what can we do to put our education and our tools together to really create a framework? So, what we came up with was the Calm Mama framework. And this is all about regulating, rebuilding, and reconnecting. So, you as a pregnant mama, a postpartum mama, all the way through toddlerhood, as you are regulating those hormones, as you are going through these changes, this framework is here for you to regulate, rebuild, and connect. So, let's get into it a little bit. The first step is to regulate that nervous system. We just talked about the ways in which we can feel dysregulated. We also talked about that vagus nerve. These are two tools. What I'm about to show you are two tools to help you to stimulate that vagus nerve, to activate that rest and digest nervous system, that parasympathetic nervous system, that's really going to help to calm that system down. So I invite you all to join me in grounding first. The parts of regulation are breathing, grounding, and resetting. We're going to start with grounding. I love to do this practice because you can really literally do this anywhere. My favorite place to do this is in the car in the midst of my child having a tantrum. So you can really do this anywhere. But right now, if you're in a seated position or if you're in a standing position, I invite you to just close down the eyes if that feels good for you. And if you would prefer not to close down the eyes, I invite you to just take a soft gaze at the space in front of you. And as you are taking that soft gaze or your eyes are closed, I invite you to just notice the spaces and the areas and the surfaces of your body that are connected to another surface. So if you are standing, maybe that's both feet planted on the floor. And if you are sitting, maybe that is your glutes, your buttocks, your thighs against the chair, maybe even your back and your shoulders against the chair. And I invite you to begin to just trace that outline of your body against that surface, going from one side of the body all the way around to the other side of the body. And as you begin to start to trace your body against the surface, allow the surface to support you, allowing your body to become a little more heavy and a little more heavy against that surface. Allow yourself to become so heavy against that surface, so rooted into that surface that you begin to sprout roots down through
What is this?
towards the bottom
Now.
of the
Nervous system regulation.
of Remember to take a moment to be still in this moment. Take a moment to recenter yourselves. Continue down into the core, towards the core of the earth, spreading those roots further and further down into the core of the earth, drawing a nice warm
But I'm a dog that I
nice
yeah.
warm feeling back
Shit.
up through those roots all the way till it reaches your body, and allow that warmth to reach your body and then spread through your system, calming and sending an energy of peace throughout your body. I invite you to begin to wiggle those fingers and those toes, maybe rotate the head side to side, and gently flutter those eyes open if they were closed as you come back to the
Okay, well,
very
your boss said it was okay for you to
Hi,
do
Nicole.
it.
Thanks, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. Would you mind placing yourself on mute for a moment? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us as well. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. So, if you would feel free to drop how you feel in the chat. Essentially, that is a nice, gentle grounding opportunity for you, a grounding exercise for you to be able to root yourself and again stimulate that nervous system, that parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going into our breathing, our breath work. Today we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So alternate nostril breathing is also known in the yoga world as a Nadi Shodhana pranayam, which is a type of breath work. What I really love about this breath work is it's all about balancing those sides of the body, balancing the mind, and bringing on that peace and stimulating that vagus nerve. So let's get into this breath work together as well. All right, so we're going to take our right hand, and I invite you to take your right hand and place your ring finger over your left nostril. And then you're going to take your thumb and place it over your right nostril. So then you're going to end up with your two peace fingers. You're going to say, what am I supposed to do with those? You're more than welcome to place your two peace fingers at your third eye or the space between your eyebrows, or you can tuck them down. So what it's going to look like is this or this. This or this. Okay? All right, so we're not covering our nostrils just yet, but this is where you might need that tissue. Okay, here we go. We're going to first just take a couple of cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. This time we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. I invite you to come back to your normal breathing pattern. You're going to follow along with me as I instruct you on this breathing tool. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Breathe in through the left nostril, fully and deeply. Close off the left nostril with your ring finger. Open the right nostril with your thumb and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Close it off with the thumb. Open up the left nostril with the ring finger. Exhale through the left nostril. Again, inhale through the left. Close it off. Open the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close it off. Open up the left. Exhale through the left. Again, inhale left. Close left, open right. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, open left. Exhale left. One more time. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Gently return the breath back to its normal rhythm and gently float that right hand back down. Very, very nice, everyone. Okay, I love to hear how that went for you guys. Give a thumbs up if it was great. Give a medium thumb if you're like, oh, I don't know what I was doing there. We'd love to hear how that went for you. Again, this is one where sometimes you need a little tissue, but overall, it's there for providing you some peace, some comfort, and stimulating that vagus nerve, really activating that parasympathetic nervous system. So as you all are throwing things into the chat, I will also pass it along to Dr. Saya.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm glad that it was helpful to focus on breath in a new way. That's always a good thing. Quick comment on the estrogen. I do not know detailed research on it. I always am like, I feel like pharmacists know are typically a great go-to when it comes to extra estrogen counseling and additional information. And when it comes to supplements, I'm always like, as long as your primary care, if you're seeing multiple different doctors, as long as everybody knows what you're taking, you just want to make sure everything is going to mix appropriately. So yeah, I don't have the research. I'm sorry. And then on the vagus nerve comment, so the vagus nerve does play a role in digestion. So if it is haywired, I can believe that it will be contributing to morning sickness. The good news or the positive thing that we talk about, these are all ways, or the different things we're going through are all ways to kind of get everything at a nice regulated or a nice neutral for the nervous system. So the hope is that it can kind of help either if we need more active vagus nerve, less active vagus nerve, kind of decrease our stress levels and keep things from going nuts in the body. I hope that answered the question, Jasmine and Dr. Anna. Great questions. Okay. So, quick comment on movement and motherhood equals strength plus healing. So, I want you to feel good in your body. We want you to feel strong, not like you're falling apart. I know clients will come in and see me and they're like, oh, my hip hurts, my back hurts. I don't want to do these different movements, or it's harder for me to take care of my tiny one because I have these different pains going on. And so I tell people movement can be medicine, not just for the body, but also for the mind. And no, we don't have 1,000 hours in a day to just exercise. So let's talk about ways to strengthen and engage our muscles in the day to day. And so in this part, you are welcome to move with me. We're going to try a couple of different motions. Also, I am not a fan of the bounce back culture. No, you're not immediately back to your body in the first 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. Like, it's okay, y'all. The body is doing a lot, so we should give ourselves a lot of grace. It takes time to rebuild strength. And I really like to emphasize feeling good and feeling confident in your movement and in your activities as most important, even though I know everybody has a different focal point. So let's talk about posture. So for posture and quality of movement, so how you move is going to matter in all aspects of life. If you're sitting, if you're standing, you're exercising, you are carrying your tiny one or breastfeeding, like how you move matters. And so promoting healthy movement and patterns and healthy movement patterns are going to reduce the likelihood of different pain and injury setting in. So when we talk about postural alignment, if you are sitting, let me know if your feet are on the floor. If they're dangling, it's a lot harder to sit nice and tall. So we want our feet resting on the floor. And then I usually say if you're sitting, you want your hips, your shoulders, and your ears in line. If you would like to stand up, you are welcome to. For my standing folks, I usually say you want your ears, your shoulders, that boniest part of the hips, and the ankles in line. You'll notice if you slouch, we start to lose alignment. They are not going straight up and down. So if we're here, we like to be in a nice neutral posture. And when it says ribs over pelvis, if you can take both hands, go ahead and place them on the sides of your ribs. If you slide those hands down, we want them to go directly over the pelvis. And so you'll notice sometimes we might sit with more of an arch. Oh, sorry, y'all. Let me bend this down. Thanks, Dr. Val. Sometimes we might sit with more of an arch, and this shortens our back muscles and can lead to some extra back pain. Or sometimes we'll sit with a super slouch, which does put a little bit of extra load on our back joints, and it starts to stretch the muscles out. When we have the ribs stacked over pelvis for our different motions, it's going to put our core, our back, and then our muscles, so our pelvic floor and our diaphragm, our breathing muscle, at optimal positions to function and to support us. And so with that being said, can you place hands on your ribs once again? We're gonna try a nice deep breath in through the nose. I want you to notice if your ribs expand out to the side, or if you only feel motion at the front or at the back. And so we want the ribs to expand in all directions. Big inhale and big exhale. Blowing out like you're blowing out a birthday candle. If your shoulders are up into your ears, please soften them. And so taking one extra moment, this time we're going to engage our core. And so taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, letting that rib cage expand. And as you exhale, blow out like you're blowing out a birthday candle. And also try to tighten the belly into the spine. And relaxing everything, go ahead and let those ribs go. Can I have you change your hand placement? Find your belly button, go a little bit below, rest your hands on that low belly. And so as you inhale, we might get a little bit of expansion here. But this time as you exhale, I want you tightening belly button into spine. Feel if your hands are drawing in and feel if you can feel that muscle activation. That's called your transversus abdominis muscle. It's like a corset on the body. So everyone has a snatched waist. We all have this same muscle kind of cinching and stabilizing our spine. So give me a wave or give me a thumbs up if you were able to feel your core activate. And if you couldn't, okay. Yes, I like the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a motion I tell people you can build it into your exercise. You can build it into your sit to stand. You can build it in even to rolling. Sometimes people will mention pain with rolling. I'm like, you want to breathe, like Dr. Val mentioned, but you also want to engage the core to stabilize your spine with these different motions. And so we practice our breathing, we practice our posture and our core engagement. Let's incorporate a hip hinge. And so when we are doing our sit to stand, we want to do a nice hinge from the hips. So if someone was getting up, they could do this. You see how I fold over from the back. Or you can keep the ribs and the pelvis in a nice alignment, lean forward from the hips, looking straight forward. Let me know, you might feel a little bit of stretch in the butt here. Back should be nice and flat. We don't have to overarch. Ribs are staying over pelvis. Here is where we want to be before we get up. And so let's return to neutral. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, press those feet into the floor, pushing up with that hip hinge. And let me know if you felt your butt muscles kick on at all. If you feel it in your back might be doing more than we wanted it to. And so take a moment. You want to feel your glutes kick on. So the buttocks are big movers for the body. And so your postural muscles and the muscles in your back are there for just that. So when you were doing your sit to stand, we're going to do one more. This time we're going to do our belly draw in with it. Big breath in. As you exhale, belly draw in, push into the floor, feel that butt engage. And nice job. Same hip hinge when you go to sit down. Pushing the butt back, sitting into the chair. Ideally, you're not in a rolling chair. I will say that. And so that's one way just to be mindful about which muscles are moving you. Because the body is going to move. It just depends on which are we using the optimal muscles to move us. That same hip hinge, I tell people, I'm not going to have you do it with me today. But that same hip hinge and those same postural cues, when you're lifting your tiny one, it's going to be important. You can do it in a lunge. You can do it in a squat. The hip hinge is going to be a key motion and one of the earliest motions I'll teach mommies just when it comes to moving and reducing pain. Like you want to feel your butt, you don't want to feel your back. except for posture. So now that we've done a little bit of body rebuilding, let's talk a little more about reconnecting. Dr. Lisa.
Yep. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what the first two steps were, and then we're going to talk about reconnecting your body, mind, and soul during pregnancy and postpartum, which is essential for your well-being and your resilience. So the first part is tuning into your body. So when you're tuning into your body, you're reconnecting with your physical self. So one of the mantras that really helped me get through pregnancy and postpartum is my body is my home. I've returned to it with care. So these are practices that can help you tune into your body. They can soothe discomfort. They can build trust with your physical experience that you're having. So there's things like gentle movement. These include prenatal, postnatal yoga, stretching, walking, dancing to music you love, anything to get that body moving. Then there's body scan meditation, which ties in a lot of what the breath work that Dr. Val had brought into the class. So what you want to do is you want to pause, scan your body from head to toe, and just be there, be present. Warm baths or showers are also great. Water is a has great healing properties. So you want to use water as a ritual of comfort and cleansing, and let that water soothe you. Then there's massage or self massage. It's hard when you're pregnant with your first. It's easy to go about doing things because you don't have anybody else to really worry about other than yourself. However, for a second pregnancy or for postpartum, it gets hard to leave the house for an hour and a half each time, to go get a massage, or including if you're in the DMV, an hour to go drive that to go get that massage. So things you can do are use lotion, or oil to gently massage your feet, your belly, your shoulders, to help calm. Also, there's nourishing food rituals. So a lot of cultures have a heavy emphasis on food for prenatal and postpartum, for the mother's well-being and for the baby. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to mindfully prepare or eat a snack you truly enjoy. Eat it slowly. Think about what your body craves and what your body needs at that time. And then one of my two favorite ones out of this section are rest without guilt. So practice laying down during the day, even if you don't sleep. Just remember, laying down is productive. Oftentimes, there's a stigma around resting, around laying down. You think you're being lazy, you think you're not getting things done, but you are. Your body needs that rest in order to function later on. And then there's breath work. So, just try the simple breathing techniques that Dr. Val had said to ground and regulate your nervous system. So you want to inhale peace and exhale tension. And then my all-time favorite one is wear clothes that feel good. So you want to choose comfort over pressure. Your body is doing so much. And in each phase, we're going through a different identity, right? So as we become pregnant, our body changes, and that's not what we're used to. So it's hard for us a lot of times, hard to accept that change when what you're looking at in the mirror is not what you think should be looking back at you. And this is the same as postpartum. So find clothes that fit you. If that means you wear sweatpants for a while, you wear sweatpants for a while. If it means, hey, I really feel comfortable wearing a dress and heels, 2 weeks postpartum, that's what you do. It's whatever makes you feel comfortable in your body. The next part is your mind. So you want to support your mental and emotional clarity. And that is reconnecting with your inner voice. So one of the mantras you can use for this is, my thoughts are not facts. I observe them with kindness. You want to support your mental and emotional clarity through mindfulness, reflection, and expression. So some of the things you can do are journal, which we'll do a little bit of in a little while, after this section. So you want to reflect on how you're feeling today, what you're afraid of, and or what you hope for. You want to write freely, fears, joys, questions, anything that comes to mind. It doesn't matter. Then there's also positive affirmations. So you want to speak kindly to yourself. Speak or write statements like, I am safe, my body is strong, I trust the process, I can do hard things. These are things that you want to say to yourself to help you, um, get through the day and reconnect your mind, body, and soul. Then there's therapy or support groups. There's still a huge stigma around seeking out therapy resources, support groups, things like that. But these are super important. There's other people out there that are going through the same thing as you. And oftentimes we feel isolated and we silo ourselves postpartum because we feel like nobody else can relate to us. There's somebody out there that can relate to you for sure. So these are spaces where you can share openly, where you feel heard and held, and you don't have to carry this all alone. Remember, there's also mindful breaks. So step away from overstimulation, phones, TVs, just breathe and rest. There's so much out on the internet right now with conflicting information. One person's telling you to do this, another one's telling you don't do this. This might be good for you, that might not be good for you. So it's important to remember to take a step back and just be with yourself for a little while. Take that breath or that break. Read something or listen to something uplifting. So you want to choose stories or podcasts that can nourish your spirit. And then the most important one is set boundaries. Say no when you need. This is the hardest thing for most people because you associate the word no with something negative. So if we say no to somebody, we automatically have negative thoughts around that word. So you want to protect your mental space by honoring your limits, whether it's with your family, friends, work, or other aspects of your life that are no longer serving in your new role. So it's okay to let these things go. And then the last part is your soul. So you want to nourish your sense of meaning, connection, and spiritual grounding. And this is reconnecting with your inner wisdom. So one of the mantras for that is, even when the world feels loud, my soul whispers. So these practices nourish your sense of meaning, connection, and spiritual grounding. So you can create a quiet ritual. Do something like lighting a candle, saying a mantra, or even just spiritual grounding. If you're into prayer, prayer is also great. And then there's a nature connection. So sitting outside, feeling the wind, sun or wind, and just simply observing. You know, Anybody that knows me knows I love to be outside. And I'm glad that my 2 year old, almost 2 year old, and my 4 month old also love being outside because that gives me a reason to go outside even more. Um, and then there's gratitude practice. So, write or name 3 things that you're thankful for. And you can do this each day, you can do it once a week. Don't feel the pressure that this needs to be done daily. Your life is busy enough. You fit these things in when you can. Or set aside, like, hey, I'm going to take 5 minutes this morning and this is going to be what I'm going to do every day. And that's your time for you. And then there's creative expression. So you can do things like drawing, singing, collaging, crocheting, writing poetry, whatever you feel strongly about and have a passion to do. You don't want to lose that passion. And then there's also speaking lovingly to yourself and your baby. So you want to build a bond through voice and presence. And then ask for help. This is very, very important, especially in that postpartum time frame. Again, you're not alone, and we're not meant to do this alone. So let others pour into you the way that you pour into others. So receiving is also a sacred act, right? And it's okay to ask for that help. We are not meant to do this alone. And I'm going to repeat this one more time. We are not meant to do this alone. So just a reminder, pregnancy and postpartum are full of transformation. Some days reconnection may feel far away, and that's okay. So you want to start small. So even one breath, one step, one moment of awareness is more than enough. And our one small step is going to be the start of journaling. So what I'm going to have you guys do is, if you have a pen and paper, if you want to write in your phone, we're just going to take 2 minutes to reflect on this prompt that I have up here. What does calm look like for me this week? And you'll be amazed at how grounding this can actually be. So a lot of times we think of journaling like keeping a diary, like many of us did in middle school or high school. But we really want to get deep into our thoughts with the type of journaling we're gonna be talking about. So while you're thinking about the prompt, what does calm look like for me? Ask yourself, who is with me? Am I alone? Am I with a best friend? Am I with my partner? Where am I? Am I at the beach? Am I in my bedroom? Am I sitting alone in my car? And how can I create a calm space for myself, even if it's just a few minutes a day? So these prompts can encourage self-awareness and connection to your inner resources, which are extremely vital during prenatal and postpartum journey. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes at 12:51. If you want to share what you were thinking as you were writing this, you're more than welcome to. If not, you can just drop in the chat if you felt this exercise is something that you would use, or I'm sorry, 12:52 is something you would use. All right. Well, thanks for doing that. You know, so just a reminder, as your body and life transition through pregnancy or new motherhood, your definition of calm is going to shift. So, doing things like journaling help you process that time frame and walk through it. So, if anybody wants to share, you're more than welcome to. Let us know what you were thinking, or if you just want to drop in the chat if you thought this exercise was helpful and something that you can add to your toolbox of um, getting through postpartum and pregnancy.
Any sharers? Don't feel obligated. As long as you know what works for you.
Yep.
Okie dokes. I guess we will keep it rolling. I'll make the comment on the acupuncture in just a second. Oh, yeah, I like the activity with family or friends, Jasmine. Excellent. Oh, well, actually, since you just said that. Also, acupuncture, I have heard it is really helpful for some. This is not my medical opinion. This is me and my hearsay. But I have heard acupuncture has been really helpful for some. Some people mention acupressure, different pressure points, that might be helpful for nausea and morning sickness. But that is not from my PT scope of knowledge, so I will say that. But I would investigate for myself. Okay. Thanks for sharing about family and friends. Quick pulse check, gang. We are rounding the final stretch. So we're going to do a pulse check on these different areas. I'll explain them as we go. Red flag, this is similar to when you're at the beach, but red flag is I'm not doing well, I'm not comfortable in this area. Yellow flag is I'm somewhat comfortable, but I could stand to know a little bit more or a lot more. Green flag is I feel really confident, I'm coasting, I have mastered this area. So when it comes to nervous system and emotional stability, and please feel free to drop in the chat, feel free to come off mute if you would like. Um, but just drop a green, a yellow, or a red flag verbally. You don't have to find an emoji. I don't think it's an emoji. But how are we doing with our nervous system and emotional stability right now? I'm going to drop a flag for myself. Oh, we have a couple of yellow. Okay, I like the yellowish green too. So we have a nice diversity. Come on, green. Love to see it. Okie dokes. Our next topic, green is good. Green is good. Yellow is also good, y'all. We're working. Next topic is body wisdom and physical wholeness. So how do you feel in your body? Do you feel stiff? Do you feel like you can move? Do you feel weak? Do you feel strong? Like, where are we at with our confidence in our body? I put yellow to green depending on the day. Oh, stiff and weak, you are not alone. I literally was like, I might be yellow to green because I'm a little stiff. Understood, understood. And then how are we feeling about mental health and identity support? So who we know ourselves to be, and where we are. Green, I like it. Yellow. Yes, and so all of these are fluctuating things. Like we might be yellow one day, green another day, red another day. It really varies. Okay. Well, yes, the new postpartum phase will definitely put you in a influx state. Figuring it out. Yes, I think we all are. And then the last topic. So when it comes to a holistic motherhood. So when I say this, this is like feeding ergonomics, how you're moving for feeding, how are you doing with postpartum planning, meal prep, delegating roles to people, re-entering workspace, social spaces, things like that. When we talk about holistic motherhood skills, where are we on that? Okay, mommies. I know, you never know.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say one never knows. Yeah, some days are the fire days. The good thing about this section, what I will tell you, none of these are permanent spaces. Like we might not always be green, we're not always going to be yellow, we're not always going to be red. Like none of these are temporary. There's a lot of progression to be made. And a quick secret, all of the above topics are things that we'll be talking about in the future and things that we have programmed for. And so we are going to do a quick, the quickest blurb on connecting with us further. So if you would like to, we would love to connect with you even one-on-one. We can work to build a personalized roadmap just to take you from a stress space to a thriving mom space. And so if you want to learn more of the tools that we talked about today, feel free to connect with us. And we are still going to always emphasize moving from chaos to calm. And so, rapid fire overview, we do have a coaching program. It runs 6 months. We do weekly coaching calls. We have toolkits, different recordings, guides for you. And we really like to emphasize community building. If you are prenatal, if you are postpartum, a lot of y'all are postpartum. I love to see it. And early toddler moms, it will be great to meet with you. And this is definitely for you. Also, there are other ways to stay connected with us, but do consider us in the calling realm. And so I'm going to shift it forward. Oh, not that far. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you guys want to connect with us, follow us on Instagram at balance.mama.project. We'll have tips and tricks up there, our future master classes, just community engagements that we might be partaking in. All of that will be up there. We're also on YouTube at balance.mama.project again, and you can listen to our just soapboxes on there, and then also throwing in some tips and tricks. Val and I are talking about our life as moms on there. So if you want to connect there, go ahead, subscribe if you want to listen. And then we have our website, our email, and obviously our masterclass that we recorded today is going to be coming straight to your email as well.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. And
We
so
also have a gift. Sorry, go
yes,
ahead.
we have a gift. Before you head out, it's 1 o'clock, so we want to honor your space and your time. We're gonna throw a gift in the chat for you guys who came and attended live. It's our PDF of our Mama Time journal. This is usually available on Amazon, but you can actually have it for free today, just to get you started on your just journey of getting the tools that you like to thrive and go from chaos to calm. So we are opening up for questions right now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
If for some reason you guys aren't able to access that link, just shoot us an email or message us on Instagram, and we can help you out with that.
Yes. So, just requested. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Dr.
Great
Anastasia.
questions.
All right, awesome. We will give you all access granted. Thank you guys so much for coming.
If you do have questions that we couldn't answer right now, don't hesitate to email, send us a message on Instagram, whatever works for you guys, okay?
You're welcome,
Okay.
Atixa.
All right.
Bye,
You guys.
Rachel.
Love to
Bye,
connect.
everyone.
Thank you guys.
Hey, Koa. There is a recording coming.